Task 8, Chapter 6, Models of the User in Design. Exercise 6.4. Create a GOMS description of the test photocopying a paper from a journal. Discuss the issue of closure in terms of your GOMS description. Answer. One possible GOMS description and the goal hierarchy for this task in given below. Answer will vary depending on assumption about the photocopier used and the model for the exercise in this example. We will assumes that the article to be copied one page at a time and that a cover of the imaging for surface of the cover has to be in place before the actual copy can be made. The closure problem, which appears this example occurs when the copy of the article is removed from the photocopier or tray, satisfying the overall goal for the task. In the above description, however, the original journal article is still on the imaging surface of the photocopier and the cover is closed. The user could easily forget to remove the journal. How could the photocopying procedure be revised to eliminate this problem? One answer is the force of the goal retrieved journal to be satisfied before collect copy. Exercise 6.2. Recall the CCT description on the rule insert space 2 discussed in the section 5.3.2. As we discussed this already proceduralized, that is the rule is an expert rule. Read unifies rules where the three keystrokes are not proceduralized, that is you should have separate rules for each keystroke and suitable goals. Answer. Insert space begin set mode if and test goal insert space test courses line call test not in command mode, then add goal get into insert mode. Exercise 6.3. Do a keystroke level analysis for opening an application in Visual Desktop interface using a mouse of the pointing device. Comparing at least two different methods performed in the rest. Repeat the exercise using a trackball. Discuss how the analysis would differ for various positions of the trackball relative to the keyboard and for after pointing device. Answer. We provide a keystrokes level analysis for the different methods for launching an application on a Visual Desktop. These methods are analyzed for a conventional one-button mouse, a trackball mounted away from the keyboard, and one mounted close to the keyboard. The main distinction between the two trackballs is that the second one does not require an explicit repositioning of the hands. That is, there is no time required for harming the hands between the pointing device and the keyboard. Exercise 6.4. One of the assumptions underlying the programmable user model approach is that it's possible to provide an algorithm that describes the user behavior and interaction with a system, talking disposition to the extreme. Choose some common tasks with a familiar interactive system. Write the description in pseudocode. Does this exercise suggest any improvements in the system? Answer. This is a pretty open-ended exercise, so no model answer is provided. Chapter 7. Task Analysis. The exercise for this chapter, like the chapter itself, concentrates on real or rather the computer example. This is largely because task analysis of current computer system depends on the theoretical system available. However, the form a general student exercise could be. Obsessive use of the computer system perform a task analysis. To what extent do you think the way people perform the task is determined by the system and to what extent by fundamental aspect of the task? Does the system's menu layout etc. support the task is it is used for. In particular, frequent task sequences is easy to perform, suggests potential improvements, but incremental changes and radical redesigns of the system. The details of the questions can be of course varied depending on the system, and the students can be directed to particular subsystem where you have observed problems. Exercise 7.1. The following is a list of objects found in one of the author's kitchens. Produce a taxonomy using the TDH notation of the objects. Does it obey TAKD uniqueness rule? Compare US with someone else. Answer. As the author had already produced a first taxonomy, we interviewed two domain experts, cooks. They were asked to describe how they would group and classify the kitchen items. They were explicitly told and reminded that they could have multiple classification and put the same item into several categories. The authors then cast the answer into TD annotation. One of the subjects was a doctor and used the medical taxonomies of disease. Despite stressing the looseness of the classification, he instead in a complete taxonomic tree figure. As you see, all his branches are XOR branches. In discovering that a joke had to fit into place in his taxonomy, he split it in two. Thank you.